How does a scene like this end up like this?
Stories, practically always a human story, is practically always about one thing, aren't they? Death.
20 years after his experiences in World War I, John Ronald Reuel Tolkien sits at a table. He is about to write what was supposed to be a sequel to his previous book, The Hobbit. Tolkien had many inspirations to write the novel: mythology, Christianity, some Finnish book, other fantasy novels, his Great War experiences, and language.
All men must die, but for every man his death is an accident. All I'm doing now is to try and write in Elvish.
He had completed the set of 6 books over 3 volumes. After his books came out in 1954 and 1955, it didn't just become popular in England, it became popular around the globe, until it was first translated to the screen in 1978.
Played its part. We follow the orcs.
Once it was served to the cinema screens, there was this 17-year-old kid sitting within the audience.
This was the very first monster they ever made. Movies are a medium in which you can get away with murder. You can show anything you like.
This passionate movie fan really loved movies. He went from little stop-motion movies, to making movies with nearly no money, to filming on a 16mm camera, to making his first official feature films, including Titanic's Rose, before she became Rose. That brought Peter some recognition, and with that recognition,
Saul Zaentz had the rights. We called Harvey Weinstein. He said, "Who's got the rights?" And we said, "Saul Zaentz." And he said, "Well, that's great, because I'm making The English Patient with Saul right now." We started developing it with Miramax in about 1996. You know, quite about the rights in 95.
Then they pitched Lord of the Rings to Miramax but found it way too much, after which they contacted New Line Cinema, to which they eventually agreed to make a trilogy. So now, they got to make a franchise everyone loves.
Why we didn't want to cast, superstars in the roles, because they come with previous baggage. We wanted people that read Lord of the Rings and loved Lord of the Rings.
I was reading from the book, and it was like doing Frodo parts from the book. I mean, not having known who Elijah Wood was really, I just thought, he's wonderful, he's absolutely great. Ian McKellen was it from day one.
Christopher was someone that we had in mind for Saruman. He was perfect for that role, there's no doubt about it.
I'm going to pretend I'm a Viking,
I was there to work with Peter Jackson. I was such a huge fan of his work.
Are you a fan of the Lord of the Rings, all that stuff?
Yeah, I'm a ringer.
Auditioned many times. I auditioned originally for the role of Faramir.
He said to me, "Look, no, you could never cast an actor to play Gollum."
You wanted the costumes and the actors to give the audience a sense of authenticity.
I imagine this took place in England and Europe some 7,000 or 8,000 years ago. You can name the great westerns and the great spy movies and the great cowboy films, the great musicals, but the great fantasy films, but we thought that we should honor Tolkien by putting his messages into it.
We had time very well spent, 2 months and change prior to actually shooting.
Every single thing in the film had to be built. There was not one item. We could go to a props warehouse.
Everyone in a significant position on the movie knew the books.
One of the great things about Christopher Leach is that he is a huge Tolkien fan.
The script was literally being rewritten every single day and week for the entire 15-month shoot.
Peter wanted that line up, that line down, that word, that way, and those words, that way, or whatever. He waited until he got it.
We'd seen beautiful sets before, but this was unbelievable.
Expressive of a simple lifestyle, a rural lifestyle, where people are actually very much in touch with nature.
With this it's the LotR woods. Actually, there's many wonderful woods in New Zealand. There's actually a park in the middle of the city. It's called Mount Victoria.
The prancing pony was, like most of the sets, very authentic.
And action!
A false perspective. If I were to be doing a scene with Ian McKellen, he would be in the foreground of the shot so that he would just look bigger.
And that was shot on a very remote mountainside, because I just wanted to be able to feel that we were really up the mountains and we weren't just cheating it on a ski field. Well, I think you're just using it, just as a
For the torch, basically, yeah.
How lucky are we to be in New Zealand to see this? That's half of why this movie is so amazing. Standing up at 5 in the morning, and the whole time we're begging to sit down, but they don't let us.
It's too weird that your last name is Foot and that you work on my foot.
Master doesn't want you. Master doesn't get you.
These guys didn't need any more, encouragement to beat the snot out of me.
$250 horses in full Rohan armour with their riders plated and shining and their spears in attack position.
You see yourself in the mirror, suddenly you feel transformed.
Stand to your post, prepare to fight, and then you turn.
I'm now completely transformed into a hobbit. You gotta love your castmates.
Guys?
He's up for it.
Hey!
Hey!
Sit down, man.
How are you? Hey, good. This party seems cool, isn't it?
As you would.
And cut! Lovely last shot.
Thank you, too.
This film was conceived of by a Kiwi, has been contributed to by thousands of Kiwis, and has been filmed entirely in New Zealand and is taking the world by storm.
The Oscar goes to Howard Shore for Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings.
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 Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Return of the King.
Of course, there isn't just one detail to blame, whether it is 2 years of pre-production, or Tolkien, the landscapes, the authentic Middle-earth world, the music, the special effects, the characters, the amount of characters, the casting, the story, the passion. There's no denying that it received tremendous appreciation. And with a new Lord of the Rings project completed, I'm gonna go to church and pray that it doesn't ruin anything.